Finding the Funk, George Clinton, take one.
Absolutely. How are you, sir?
What's happening, man?
I'm good, man. Finally, so glad to talk to you.
Be up in here. It's good to be up in here. Just got back from my barber shop, my friend's barber shop.
Plainfield. I see you got your finger waved.
Yeah, no, I got it in Newark. That's where I used to work at when I first started doing it. The one that did my hair on trumpipulation.
Right.
You know, with the elephant nose.
Yeah.
Same guy. He's still.
Let's see if we get a good shot of the head.
Oh yeah, got to get the dude. It's called the New Do Review.
Dude.
Yeah.
So,
And of course, I got my Newark brim. You know, when I used to go to school here, this is the look. It was boardwalk inner city style.
Talk about, well, you started as a barber, right? How did you go from barber to music? How did that happen?
Well, I actually went from music to barber to music. I was singing in grade school, and you know, when you started back in those days, everybody had a do, so you had to learn to do each other's hair, because you know, it cost $5 each time you got your hair done. You couldn't dance, you couldn't make love, you couldn't do nothing without, you know, you heard certain those. I don't like water. And he didn't want to get his hair messed up. So, thing is, we had to do each other's hair.
Right.
That got us all into that. And a barbershop was a good place to rehearse.
Right.
A good side gig. You can get ready, leave the barbershop, leave our customers in there while I go to New York to audition for a deal for a record. Tell them I'll be right back. They wait for me. I had good customers.
Had you always wanted to be a singer since you were? I don't really know a lot about you as a kid. You grew up. Were you?
And from 13 on, Frankie Lyman, Why the Fools Fall in Love. When I first came from Virginia, I met Shirelles and Spaniards. I had a cousin lived in Passaic. She introduced me to them. I watched them rehearse. Then I would go to the Apollo. And I skipped school, you know, and go over there and watch the Cadillacs, the Spaniels, the Clovers, the Orioles, you know what I'm saying, the Velours. I watched every doo-wop group in New York and Little Anthony, you know, all of the Fort Greene projects in Brooklyn, all the groups from over there. So, I mean, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington. That was it, you know. It didn't take nothing for me to jump on a train to go see any doo-wop show in Philly or at the Howard in Washington. I was into that. So from 13 on, we were singing with our first record in 1957. And it was Poor Willie. Didn't do too much, but I used to go to Apollo and look at the walls and say, wow, I want my picture on that with all these folks.
So you're a doo-wop man.
Oh, yeah. We started out doo-wop. In 59, to me, doo-wop ended. Motown brought a new doo-wop. Motown upped the game, you know, with Temptation. There was all, you know, certain height and everything, stepping. Pips was always my group for stepping. But the Pips, when they went to Motown too, so Motown had everything. Smokey, I loved. That's what I idolized as a writer. That's what made me want to write songs. Was Smokey and then Sly.
So I know you were recording here in New York and New Jersey. How did you end up in Detroit?
A guy named Gene Red that found this Cool in the Gang.
Yeah, Gene. Yeah, sure.
Gene Red. Gene Red took me to Detroit. We went out there to audition for Motown. We didn't get the deal there, but I came back here. Ray Gordy, Barry's wife, opened up Joe. Yeah, she opened up Joe Bet. So I used to work for her over there as a songwriter, and I went out to Detroit with Gene, and we did Edwin Starr, J.J. Barnes, The Capitals, Cool Jerk.
You working on Cool Jerk?
Yeah. Background, me and Pat Lewis, you know, on Dante's. Yeah. She sang on every record that I put out, Testify, and all the rest of them. But that was our team. Sidney Barnes, who was part of Rotary Connection with Minnie Ripperton. Both of us worked for Ray Gordon, so that's how I got tied to going out there. Once I went out there, we did. A guy called Darryl Banks, Open the Door to Your Heart.
Sure.
We did that record, and Gene was like our boss. He did Inez and Charlie Fox, and you know Cecil Holmes.
Right. Very well.
Cecil was his partner,
Ah.
and Cecil, myself, and Ronnie Mosley, we all worked in the CBS building, in the Brill building. I worked.
So you were a Brill Building songwriter.
1652. Yeah, all of that.
So you were a real R&B man.
Songwriter, anything that came up, you know. You saw Otis Blackwell around there, you know his story. He was writing for Elvis and stuff, and
How many? There weren't that many black people in the Brill Building, were there?
yes, but they wasn't, you know, Rosemarie McCoy. It was the Isaac Brothers they were starting out. The guy that did the Chantels and the ding 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 ding. I forget his name. Barrett
Strong?
Not Barrett Strong. Richard Barrett.
Richard Barrett. Right.
Richard Barrett.
Right.
He was the first, to me, superstar producer, writer. You know, he had that sound.
Right.
Tears on My Pillow and Maybe and all that Redbird, Bluebird stuff.
So when did you formally move to Detroit? You know, full time.
I started going out there on. I would go out there on Mondays. I was go out there on Mondays and work till Friday, starting in about '63.
And you come back to New Jersey on the weekend.
On the weekend and work at the barbershop.
You wrote songs Monday to Friday and did hair.
Yeah, and come back and do hair, and then we got a hit record. I Want to Testify, and that was on the record. It was me, Ron Banks.
Ron Banks, who did the Dramatics label.
Dramatics, Pat Lewis again, and another one, a group called The Holidays. A guy Robert from this group called The Holidays, and that was Parliament for that song because I did it as a demo, but they went on and put it out, so it became the Parliament's song.
Why did you call the band the Parliaments?
Huh?
Why did you call them the Parliaments?
Well, in 1957, that's what the groups was called. Cigarettes, Chesterfields, or they were called Cars. The Bel Airs and you know what I'm saying? So we picked Parliament. It was a nasty cigarette I heard. I never smoked.
My mother used to smoke it, unfortunately. So, how did having Testify change your life?
I mean, we went up, mostly we were on the road. We was in the barber shop. You know, we thought we was cool. We had Cadillacs and no license. You know, everybody would be triple parked. You know what I'm saying? The Cadillacs, so we were so cool that we thought we was gonna be players and pimps and everything. Testify came out right at the same time. Flower Power came out. So we got out there and got turned completely out. You know, we went to Boston and, you know, we was in Cambridge, we was over Harvard with the kids. They would get $64 to test acid. We didn't know what the hell they was doing. We was up there, we trying to get with the girls.
So you started dropping acid?
And so next thing we know, we was out there, and all these little kids were running and laughing at us, but we was having fun with the young kids, and next thing you know, we was old-ass hippies. Been hippies all my life since then. And I'm not regretting none of it because I had a ball. And you talk about how did it affect my life. Oh, we went learned everything from there. I knew nothing about no Vietnam War, none of that stuff. You find all that out with all these kids philosophizing and talking, whatever that was. And like I said, we was always up to no good, but after a while you ain't gonna be corny. You have to start learning what they're talking about. And Next thing I know, I was damn near preaching. You know, I said, give me, you know, I'm glad I've taken acid. I might believe this stuff if I wasn't. You know, I could have been because I felt it.
Right.
You know, like America is young, and I was like going, but then I know myself that I don't know no answers. So the best I could do is just say, what if? So that's what most of my songs is. What if this? Let's suppose this. You know, it's like questioning to make you think. I ain't trying to preach. The closest I'm gonna get to preaching is free your mind, your ass will follow. Because I don't know no answers. Shit change as soon as you think you got it down. The whole spectrum, you know, if I'm saying from, I done seen processes be something that you don't want, ain't too cool to have. You know, you ain't cut your due yet. I was glad I was out of the barbershop by that time. You know,
You didn't like the afro?
Yeah, I had an afro. I could easily wear it because I was out of the shop. But if I'd have been in the shop, my livelihood, I'd have been pissed.
The process has made a lot more money.
Oh, yeah, it's made a lot of money. But then the afros, they made money off of that style for a minute. And we went there, but I couldn't stay still. I cut holes in my afros. I had moons and stars and dicks and everything designed in my, you know, and you know, long before people started cutting those designs in there, I was doing that shit way back there. You know, myself and Tyle Ross in the group.
Okay, so let me know. You're in Detroit. You have the poems. You have this hit. You get turned out.
And we playing now with the same agency with the MC5, Iggy Stooge.
Did you get to know all these?
We had the same agency, Diversified Management. That was our agency. And as soon as we got out there, we almost got locked up with the MC5 on the plane. Police thought it was us, you know, and John Sinclair was with them. And that's when we call them white niggas, because the police came in looking for niggas. It's the white ones, because they was clowning, smoking weed on the plane. You know, everybody did back then, but we hadn't run into no rock and roll yet.
So, because I just saw this tape of you from 1969, and it's like part of the band is an R&B group, but the music don't sound like R&B.
No, that's when we was after good old funky music. We turned the volume up on everything. We had Marshall amps. It was like 10 Jimi Hendrix. It was loud as hell, and it took half of the group, like Calvin and Ray. It took them a long time to come out of their suits. You know, they were still wearing suits, and I was wearing diapers and sheets, nothing. You know, and Billy and Eddie was like, you know, like Sergeant Pepper. Look, you know, so we was mixing, and the music was changing slowly and slowly. The records started changing slowly, and it went on that way to Bootsy came into the group. We knew first he was playing with us, but we knew he had too much personality. He had to have his own band. So my deal with him was, okay, help me write some tracks for Parliament, and I'll help you put your group together, the Rubber Band. He said, can I use that name? And said, that's your name, Rubber Band. And we did Stretching Out in New York, walking down the street. Stretching out and among the news in a rubber. The whole song we had lived walking down the street. Came back to Detroit and recorded it. You know, but that was the thing. Him was a new sound. You know, then he got Maceo and Fred. So Parliament all of a sudden had what we call P-Funk now. James Brown type flavor, and lots of voices, you know, really particular. With Funkadelic, we get in that chant. We might sing great, but we might talk shit. It didn't matter. We do one or the other. Like we did One Nation, the album was so good. I said, wait a minute, no, we got to go back in and put some shit on here. It looked like we're trying to get a Grammy. So we went back in there and did Pro-Mental Shit, Backwash, Psychosis, Animal Squad.
Say it again?
The Pro-Mental Shit, Backwash, Psychosis, Animal Squad. the band in the tidy bowl of your mind, bringing you music to get your shit together by. Fried ice cream is a reality. You know, a myself sandwich. What causes all this shit? Eating me burgers. You know, egotistical lunch.
George, how do you come up with these damn phrases? Come on. Do you write these in the... How do these things happen?
It just pops out. Shit that's oxymoron. I'll be a moron not to go ahead and say it. You know, because a lot of shit contradicts itself in the real sense of society.
Right.
So you just clown it. You know, ain't nothing but something to think about. And then the more you slang, and pop puns and make them, you know, what you wanted to mean. You know, like me and Flavor was together when he said G. He took that word and said he was going to make it mean everything. And he did. And I remember him saying, G, yo, G. He said, but he's a G, he's a G, he's a G, that's a G. Take a G upstate and go camping, you know. And he actually went on and did that. Same way we did with Make My Funk to P-Funk. We made dope lingo, street, you know, stepped on, uncut, the bomb. All of that is, you know, drug talk, but we used it in another sense of the word, and we did it like, this music is dope. And to this day, people don't know that's where they got that from.
So you say it's stepped on. You're saying the funk is stepped on.
It's cut. It's got a 3 on it. This P-Funk is pure funk. James Brown, you can cut that shit 1,000 times. That's why you can sample this shit so much.
I have a problem.
What's that?
I got a warning sign that just stopped recording. I just need 1 minute.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know. Just the last like 2 seconds. I
No
didn't
problem.
catch.
You're cut.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, come on, you gotta get all of that. Come on. I shot something too, but let's get
It's legal.
we need all of this flavor.
It's legal, goddamn.
Make sure you get all of this.
Plus, I'm over 21 and it's legal.
You're definitely over
Oh,
21.
one of those. It's a blue. Set up the blue.
It's like,
Yeah,
it's
the
like-
LED.
yeah. Electronics. But it still work.
You got that? That's what I'm talking about.
Got that doo-doo.
Let's go. Take 2.
Take 2. I've never done that before.
So a few people said that you know, you were into mysticism, or you were into like I guess I'm trying to feel
A tidal wave of mysticism surging throughout Jenny. No, I was having fun clowning. You know, like I said, high as hell sometimes. That's about as mystical as it got. That got pretty mystical. You know what I'm saying? When you're tripping around on the orange waves of yellow sunshine and purple haze, oh, your ass be mystical. You hear me? That's that shit. Like mystical say.
Okay, so where did let's first thing first. Bootsy and Dawn from the Brides both talked about getting on a boat with you to the Bermuda Triangle. Tell me about that.
Oh, I used to go fishing this boat in Miami from 74 on. I used to go fishing on it until they started using the boat for the alligator. Remember Miami Vice?
Sure.
Remember they had the alligator on the boat?
Yeah.
That's the boat.
What's the name of the boat?
Sea Spirit. They used to, they rented the boat out, so we didn't have our place to fish. But back then, I used to go fishing and write most of the songs. I took Lynn and Dawn out there. They caught some trophy, nice, big fish. Bootsy, he and I went all the way to Bimini. You know, that's the Motor Booty album, talking about #1 Bimini Road. Well, I took them through there, and you go all around Bermuda Triangle and all those weird places. I'm going Easter Island, all of that stuff.
You went to East Island?
No, I'm going there. I went within about 50 miles of it, but I didn't get a chance to go, you know.
So why did you feel that this was important? What did you get out of going to the Bermuda Triangle?
Oh, I didn't know we was there the first time. We were just fishing, and the captain told us this is that part of one of the planes and things getting missing. It's a big, you know, vicinity. I mean, it's not just one little small. So we had to go through there a couple of times. But you know, after the thing with me and Bootsy in Canada, you know,
Oh, what thing is Bootsy?
the UFO thing, you know that story.
I heard the story, but please tell us the story. I don't know it. Act like I don't know shit.
Oh shit, man, we had just finished the Mothership album and Stretching Out, and we was getting ready to go to Bimini. We was from Detroit. We finished and went to Toronto, where I lived, Mississauga, and Gary lived there. So Boots and I came to Toronto. I mean Windsor. Drove to Toronto. We got up there about 7 in the morning, 7 to 8 in the morning. Okay, now we go down to tell Gary to get ready, and we'll be back to get him. So as we riding back to my house out in the suburb, Burnham Thorpe Road is the road. Just before we get to the exit, we saw a light beam, long straight like a laser, long straight. Now he didn't say nothing to me, I didn't say nothing to him. But as we got to the exit, I saw him looking around. I said, "You saw that too, huh?" He said, "Yeah, what was it?" Damn if I know. I really was tired, you know. Didn't pay no more attention to it. So we get off the highway. We're riding down Burnham Thorpe. Country road, pastures on both sides, cows and shit, you know, on both sides. The same light come down through the trees. You can see it like a block and a half away, come down through the trees and hit the ground and splatter. You know, almost like electricity, like a wire or something. When it hit the ground, it splattered. What the hell? And before I could say anything, it hit on the left side of the street in the block they were in. So it's like, bam, bam, on the left side. So when it hit over there, I looked back to see if anybody else saw this. I'm looking around and this car light, you know, right in my eye. So I turned back around. So as I turned back around, it hit the car.
You hit the car you were in?
Yeah, right on the passenger side. And like mercury in a thermometer, you know how water and oil do, beads up. When it, you know, and just run off and dribble. That's what it did. Hit the car, sparked, but didn't roll off the side of the car like oil and water or mercury out of a thermometer. And so I turned to Johnny B. Good was playing. I turned the radio down. Boots and said, "What was?" That's all he could say. And when he said that, I could see the street lights. Right alongside us, the street lights is going down. It's getting dark. Now remember I said, we got there about 7 in the morning. Okay? It did not occur to either one of us for almost 10, 11 years that we both knew that the street lights were going out, and he was racing to get to what we saw about 10 blocks away. We could see one car go back across, and all the street lights was getting dim. Look back, it was dark. The car that was behind us, no car back there. This was instant, bam, 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 and hit our car. The street lights was getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. So he's driving up, trying to keep ahead of this because it's getting dark. We didn't think about, because we got to my house, turned the corner, lights were on this street, on Bloor. Got to the parking lot, in my driveway. We sat there and didn't say a word to each other, neither one of them. My daughter walks out, she was about 5, said, "Oh, y'all look like y'all seen a ghost." Still didn't say nothing. She said, give me kids, I'm getting ready to go to bed. It didn't occur to, when she said that, it didn't occur to us then, and not for another 10 years, that we had just got there. We know where we came from Windsor, finishing the album, early in the morning. So we know it was 7 o'clock in the morning. It only take 4 hours to get there. So we don't know how it got to dark from we saw the first light at. The weird part of that light was that we saw it in daylight. That's the weird part, makes you remember that part of it, because it was a light in daylight. So that's strange, that's what's strange. But when you start dealing with the street lights going out, was the first thing in my mind I remembered that it was getting dark.
You lost the whole day.
The whole day. And got to, my daughter said she was going to bed. Took 10 years. I had to call Bootsy back up and make him, tell me the proceed what happened.
What do you think happened during that time?
Whatever that is about losing time and shit, ain't no doubt about it. Well, we went through customs, so we had no drugs. We just come through.
You were clean.
Yeah, we were clean. That's what I'm saying. Unless that messed us up, because we were clean most of the time. So that just might have been the problem. But it would have been for both of us. Both of us, because he explained, I said, where was he coming from? He said, the studio. How long did it take? 4 hours. We left there about 3 or 4 in the morning. About 3:30, I think, we left it.
Do you think doing the Mothership album had anything to do with it? They came down to talk.
That's what we said. Of course we said that. We said we done did the album, and you know what? It took them from the time we finished that album that morning. It took them a good 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and the album was on the street. He had and Neil could turn it around so fast. He had the cover ready, because by the time we got to New Jersey, then we drove to Miami and stayed there, that week, waiting, got on the boat and went to Bimini. When we got there, they knew we was coming over. They knew that I was coming over, but Bootsy was brand new. They didn't know nothing about Bootsy. They had both albums. Stretching Out and Mothership Connection. Brand new. They knew we was coming because the captain had, called over the manifest saying they bring in,
But do you think you were taken somewhere for a day?
Man, something happened, because I don't know shit about no clone and none of that stuff.
Are you saying that you came back and these ideas were
all of that? I got all of that type of stuff, one right behind the other.
Wow.
Well, nobody talking about that. I had to go to the library and try to find information on cloning. As soon as they told me it was under the protection of freedom of information, of course I'm gonna do it now. But the first thing I found was a book that just had cloning in it, and it was on the airport of Dallas when they first started using those trains.
Sure.
And the book said Steve Swanson have docked his spaceships in all kinds of ports in outer space, but the one thing he never get used to is these little trains at the Dallas airport. So the God on my mother. The book was laying on the seat in the train. Nobody else was on the train. Now I'm thinking when I read that, it's got something to do with the train. This new advertisement they're talking about, this is the first day of this train. He said he'd never get used to these little trains with no drivers, nobody. He done all this. And so I'm thinking, okay, this got something to do with the train. But I get off the plane in Portland and walking through the airport. This damn book, it was called The Clones. 2 faces, one face that way, one face. It's in every bookstore throughout the airport. Those little books, those little stores. It's in the whole bookcase all the way around. The Clones. Steve Swanson. That's what it's. And I just went, I read, and then they started talking about clone and the concept of clone, what it could do. So when I went to find out, was it real? Only thing they had was Chariot of the Gods. And what's the hybrid, Dr. Moreau.
Dr.
Those are the only 2 things that they had anywhere near it. it was under the protection of freedom of information. Because that's when they was doing all of the biological, hot zones, and
Right.
there was those scares was coming out then. El Silmar, that's what they have it way down in the ground. So I found out everything about it. All the shit that's been happened, accidents that's happened, with clone material, like these funny looking dogs and shit they finding. You seen them, like
Yeah, I seen weird looking dogs.
people making shit and it's not finished, and they just turn it loose. Somebody get mad because anybody funding this project, or they make shit and leave it out there. You got all kinds of shit showing up now, and people, believe me, we part of that shit too. I mean, we came here, somebody was clouded, made some of us. It's DNA. It's all somebody's toy.
So the clones of Dr. Funkenstein comes out of finding this. It
Finding-
starts with the light, and then it leads to the book.
Yeah, the mothership, and then you see I tied them all together then. Dr. Funkenstein and everything was a clone from then on. And I do that because characters last longer than people. Mickey Mouse is around for every generation. He go up and re-up and come back. He's a hip-hop Mickey Mouse. He's this kind of. Well, that happened with characters. You just got to forget chasing girls and shit. Forget that part and just be an entertainer.
Dr. Funkenstein, you think Dr. Funkenstein is bigger than George Clinton?
It's one and the same. It's all on the one.
That's all on the one.
Mr. Wiggles,
The weird-
maggot minister. So he knows all of it's a clone.
Right.
A clone.
You've been cloning yourself.
Yeah, I clone myself. That's why I had to go back and regroup again,
Yeah, I mean, you changed your whole look.
Yeah, about 4 times already in my life.
I want to ask you about Mumbo Jumbo. You took that earlier.
I love that book. I love Ishmael Reed. Like I said, I met some guy on the street right after Mothership was out. He looked like a little hobbit, some long coat all the way to the floor. Just walked up to me. I think you should have this. And I took it, okay, Mumbo. I was almost insulted. Mumbo Jumbo. What are you trying to say, my friend? Oh, but then I started reading, and it had that New Orleans flavor. I mean, because Ishmael got some rhythm on shit.
Yeah.
And immediately, I could tell he was into the Masonic. He was going down the temple in the lodge, going down that road. So I got into it. But then I realized right away, they was talking about the funk. They call it just groove. That essence of that shit that makes you to hip, you come up with a new, like who got one now? That's that shit I don't like. That's that shit I don't like. That's the shit I don't. When you come up with one of those ones like that, you know you got that shit. You know we want the funk. You ain't got to do nothing but, just put it out.
So the funk continues on in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I mean, that shit is the funkiest shit out there. Him and another YouTube thing, and one Wretched,
Yeah.
asking all them questions, why you asking all them? That's the funkiest shit out there now. And YouTube has got most of that stuff because they get a chance to get the main radio, it's a part of the monopoly now. You're going to get the same stuff from the same few writers and producers that's got power right now. So all the stuff going to sound alike for the next 2 or 3 years. Till somebody bust you upside your head with one of these shit I don't like. Because that one killed me. When I hear one like that, I mean, Eminem, he's one of those ones, he's straight from Detroit. He could have been part of Motown Records. His records come out like hits, like he have hooks on them like Motown. So other than him, you don't get nobody that just come out with shit. Don't seem like he gonna run out no time soon. My main man is Rakim.
Yes, the God.
Well, my God, he lives up to all that It's smooth flow, don't break a sweat. He lives up to all of that shit and still cool and be talking that shit. So you got a lot of them out there that I like, lots of them with different styles of flipping their tongue, of, saying what they say. But him and Eminem, they're unending. I should throw shit at the radio when I hear Rakim. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying to get him, Sly, Eminem, and myself.
That's a lot. I don't know, brother. That'd be. I don't know if I could be in that vicinity. The world might explode.
Oh, no, it could be done. It could be done. It could be done.
So you did you like hip hop when it first came out, or has it grown on you?
I love anything that I hear old folks and parents and old musicians say they hate. When I hear them say, I don't like that, ain't music, I'm going to like that real quick, because that's the next music.
Right.
Kids do what you don't like. They find a way to get on your nerve with it. So whatever comes out that gets on your nerve slightly, I hurry up and make sure I get my shit out of the way so I can find out what's going on with it. Because that's going to be the new shit. I mean, when I was young, pow, 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 tutti frutti, all the people laughed. They were like, that ain't music. What is rock and roll? It became what it became. We came along, we was doing, whoa, hi, hey. Oh, they chanting. They got a groove. That's a pocket. It's funky. And I'm like, I'm going to make you eat that thought. It's just funky. We did it from the basic, raw, to the slickest, funkadelic. You know what I'm saying? We went from one, but sooner or later, somebody comes along and takes it back to square one with the simplicity. It always going to do that. And when it comes, people going to say, what's that? Get on the nerve. What is that? It's the new shit. Right now, the dubstep, make you down and fall trying to dance to it. I mean, and then most of the music you can't get no slow dance, you know what I'm saying? But sooner or later, somebody come along with something you don't like, that shit you don't like, and it'll be the next shit.
Okay, let me ask you about a few people. You talked about Bootsy. What did Bootsy bring to your organization?
God damn, that big weird style of bass playing. I mean, Larry was popping, but Bootsy had been to James Brown School. So he knew what it meant to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. He knew the essence of that. So when he brought it to us, I'm from Motown. I can figure out what the click is in anything. There's a whole lot of folks there that had all kind of styles.
Right.
But once I realized that one was what it is on James' record, we just tried to, we got stupid with it. We want the funk, give up the funk. Oh, we exaggerated it and clowned it from then on. And Bootsy had that, him and his brother, right. They had that same essence that they had on James, that lock. You can go to work by that time, and you don't need no metronome with Catfish. And Bootsy Boy, they can play a lot of stuff, but they do that to death. So he brought that, and then he was like, the image that Funkadelic had, it fitted him good, even though he didn't want to be Bootsy. And to make him be that character, because he would do it at home. You walk around here with the name on your back in your house, everybody know who you is. But that you was a Bootsy. And my little 3-year-old son said, you gonna make a record, Bootsum? He called him Bootsum. People gonna be saying, want Bootsum. Want Bootsum. That became We Want Bootsy.
Wow. Then it became We Want Easy.
And then We Want Easy, and then I'd rather fuck you. Ooh, yeah. All the samples from all of that stuff. Right. James Brown, P-Funk. Then all the songs that had that raw, unprocessed, because you have a lot of room left, so you can process it yourself.
So why do you think that a band like Earth, Wind & Fire, which was their rival kind of at the time, how come they didn't really, they seem like they haven't transferred to the hip-hop generation the way that P-Funk did?
Well, hip-hop probably got on their nerve. That's what happened when they get on your nerve, you get old. You know, unless you got some shit powerful as, say, James, and shit, his shit got on everybody's nerves all this while he was doing it. But each one of them motherfuckers, he didn't care. We used to laugh at his songs. And Motown, because we talking about they ain't got no lyrics. But look, when they started sampling, what did they sample? There must have been a lot of dope in that shit. You can put a 10 on it. You can sample him, and then I can sample you, and somebody can sample me, and it still work.
There's something elemental in that shit.
To no end. To no end. And he Sly's another one that can think it. He can write it out. So he was able to do the hot fun in the summertime, a real clever pop song. Prince do too, but he could also turn it over and do simple song. And thank you, and be funky as James or us or anybody else, and still have slick ass puns or one-liners. That Norman Whitfield was able to dig with the temps.
Right.
And make it, just keep it commercial.
So you think Sly was the one who had, Sly had the full package.
He had the full package. He could, the Beatles is four of them.
Right.
So they like ungodly. Motown had a whole bunch of them, but they all are like one artist. Motown is like an artist with a whole bunch of different writers, producers. Beatles is four of them, and George Martin 5. Sly did that shit by himself. Because he told all of them what to play, what to sing. He's one of them like choir, leader of the choir at the church, who can tell the choir what to sing. And Sly's one of them, but he grew in Oakland, where all they talking shit in the barbershop, the pimping. And so he had that education. His father was a preacher. He had that soul. He went to school in San Francisco where everybody had a little more smarts than most people around that time. The Panthers and the hippies, all of that. There was a lot of knowledge coming from Berkeley and around there. They even grew bigger afros than most people. You look at Angela Davis and Larry Graham, everybody slapped he had his wig, but they had big heads around there. Huey Newton, all of that. So Sly had style from talking shit, school, church, and he's a hell of a musician. So he had a band that could sing, and his brother, Larry, and his sister, Cynthia and Jerry, that was chemistry of the highest order. When we saw them, we said, oh, shit. We knew Norman was, if we get a jam around, he gonna take it and use it. Cool. That made us feel good. But here's a mother was brand new with stuff. So, and we had the same manager for a minute,
Right.
David Kaepernick. Yeah. And he the one told me, I want you to listen. I went to Electric Circus and saw that, and I really was tripping. But it didn't sound like a rock and roll band like Jimmy or us. It sounded like a bar band, but with enough power that you ain't never heard on no bass or nowhere. And then the rest of it, it was like a regular club band, but not a regular club band, because that shit was so thick. And they were so precise. They were like the staple singers singing with a band that's, that's written for them. And one minute it sounded like Otis Redding up there. Next minute it sounded like Jane, but all of it with, and he said he did that because he used to write the charts for Steve Lodge and Edie Gourmet at the Cow Palace. This is Sly. He said he was the band director. He, besides being a DJ, he had a chance to look at other people's charts. He said, I used to take parts when they want a new chart, he said, I'll take the old parts and recycle them, which makes sense for Hot Foot in the summertime.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that's a slick sounding line there.
So what do you think? So where does Prince fit into this? It's like what was his contribution? What did he bring to the table?
Another good performance, singer, songwriter, real clever songwriter. I mean, he can copy and never use the same chords. He got a real good. He can do a Purple Rain if you when it ended. Purple rain, purple rain. It's country western as hell, but you don't relate it to that because he put a nice Jimi Hendrix pretty tone over it on the guitar, which is really slick. You know, but he could have been a part of us easily. You know, remind me of Bootsy, you know, Brides, or either, I don't know if you got a chance to see him, my son, Tracy.
I've never seen him live. I heard about him.
Their group was slick as hell. Or his album was slick. Jimmy G and the Tackheads.
Sure.
All that stuff was kind of like the era that Prince was in. But he is a motherfucker on the guitar. A lot of people don't really know how good he played the guitar. He could be out there. He just like Roger. He didn't go out to be a rock star, you know, rock and roll tip, because he can do everything. Roger started out playing a good guitar, but he got caught up in the performing in clubs, and so it became everything was rehearsed and it was the same. So it wasn't he didn't take no chance of improvisation, where we thought he would learn that from Eddie, Michael, Blackbird, because we had some guitar players that's ungodly, you know. But
Roger was a great talent. I mean,
he was a good one. There was a good showmanship. They had good showmanship. I took More Bounce to the House. That was the first time we didn't sample it, we just cut it and taped it together off of other song he had on the album called Funky Bounce. That little beat that's in More Bounce, I took that off. No sampling wasn't around yet. And I just taped them together till I got 30 seconds of that. Then I called Roger back in and told him to play. It was Wes Montgomery, James Brown, and we sang More About the but then I had him sing the talk box on the Moog and on the guitar. So you got 3-part harmony on it. So it don't sound like a talk box. Because Sly told him, say, man, after Peter Frampton, you're supposed to go bury the talk box. He said, but what George just gave you, doing it in the harmony, 3-part harmony, it's like a vocoder. And so they started calling it a vocoder. It was a talk box. It was a regular talk box, but in harmony, it was brand new.
I tell you something, that is even you did a lot of records, but More Bounce is one of the funkiest things you ever were involved with.
You know, and that's right with One Nation, Flashlight, Knee Deep, and More Bounce. All of them was done, you know, with the harmonizer, hand clap, because More Bounce got the same united sound.
So tell me about Detroit. I want to ask you about Detroit. I know you lived in Toronto, because it was much nicer to live in Toronto than Detroit back then.
Yeah, but Detroit was, all that music was coming out of there. So Detroit was definitely worth being there.
Talk about United. Bootsy talked about this about just these sessions that would go on for weeks. It seemed like.
Oh yeah, we just lived in there. Everybody just pull up a sleeping bag and wait for whenever they get a shot at the mic, and everybody would be talking about, most places talk about continuity, who was on what part of the record. We didn't care. You made half of the record here on this song. Somebody else may sing the next half of the song. So you got a lot of different colorings on, especially Gloria Alice Stupid, say for instance. So many different sets of voices, the Parlette, the Brides, everybody wanted work. So we would be in there cutting for however long we off a month. We're gonna be in the studio for a month. And
Dawn said you guys wouldn't take baths.
yeah, that was funk. Then when you get time to mix, you don't even leave. You know, you bring the food in there, a bath. You better come on and soak in that doo-doo. Like I used to tell them, you know, I have the bass so loud that I want to be able to run my hand across the record and feel it. You know what I'm saying? I want the funk so strong up in here when you pick up the record and say, ooh, they were funky in the studio when they made that.
There's one thing on your records, George, are always remarkable. You'd have you'd have one hook, and then midway through the song,
It flips.
It flips into it. They'd be together, two hooks, and then the other hook would take over. You did this. I don't know anybody else who did this. Was that how did that technique happen?
Motown was based on hooks. Smoking is a pun. But I found out that the more hooks, the better. Sometimes we end up having too many. You could make 3 songs out of one song. But then, even then, I wouldn't be trying to get a single in. I'd be doing it for artsy-fartsy sake. I'd be featuring a guitar or something, but I might have 3 or 4 puns that ain't got nothing to do with each other. The words just happen to sound alike. And then, you know, like, define the thin line between fine and refined. Confine, you know, and just wear it out to you like, you know, it gets silly. That's really what, but you be singing like it's serious. Sometimes be like gospel, be serious as hell. You scared me, baby. You know, Glenn
Goins.
Oh my God. All of them, Gary Scheider, Glenn Goins, Eddie Hazel, all of them, Plainfield, Bernie, they're all from Plainfield, same church, you know. And Glenn was ungodly. He got fired from Bobby Womack. Him and what's his name? What's his name? Tell Me You Love Me.
Tell me. Walter. Not Walter Day. Love me, till you need me, baby.
Say yeah.
Love me. Oh, come on.
Say you love
Chicago.
DJ.
DJ Rogers.
DJ Rogers. Him and Glenn was singing background for Bobby.
Okay.
Can you imagine DJ Rogers
Amazing.
and Glenn
Yeah.
singing background, and they was like overdoing it. Glenn told me, Bobby turned around and said, "This is Bobby Womack show. Y'all fired."
He fired both of them.
Fired both of them. You know, Bobby's probably the only person around that could do that too, because he sang that kind of good.
He sings that good. Still sings that good.
Yeah, right. But then Glenn came with us, and the first song, he read it. It was Bigfoot Music, and Chocolate City album.
Right.
He just, Bigfoot Music, oh, I'm gonna be good. And just reading it, and I'm laughing because he's just clowning it. Right. Bob Gunny did the same thing. I'm up here getting ready to sing, and he said, "Man, you ain't gonna sing my song. That's my song." I said, "Oh, you want to sing it?" And he just sat there and listened to me about 5-10 minutes. Went in there and just beat the song up.
That's him singing it crazy.
Huh?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I can hear him right now.
Bob Gunn.
Yeah.
Long. And he was like 19.
Let me ask you a technical question. A lot of things, one thing that happened with the music was black music, funk music. So it starts off as band music, right? And then over time, you get the Moog and the synthesizer, the drum machine. So by the 80s, it sounds different. And a lot of bands didn't seem to be able to adjust. Why were you guys able to continue on, bring it in?
Bernie's got perfect pitch. He understood the move when Keith Emerson and, you know, King Crimson, all of them first started playing that stuff. So Bernie familiar with the harpsichord. He took classical music, so and he's got perfect ear. So he learned very quick how to play and adjust the knobs while he's playing. Because the thing ain't got the Moog ain't got no notes of its own. You got to make them blend this, a little bit of decay, a little bit of sin. You got to shape the notes while you're playing, or either have it written down, somebody preset it. Bernie could play it and like Gaga Guga. He could play classical licks and like jazzy and tune it at the same time. By the time we got to Mothership, he had been doing it since, the early 60s when it first came out. He was doing it with that hops, with the RMI. He could make it sound like a Moog. He could actually voice a chord to make it sound like anything you think of. So we were able to make music with Mothership Connection. It was almost like a jazz funk album, James Brown, but I was also like that, like Hey Daddy, what that there, and what I was Oscar Brown Jr. I liked it, the talking, singing a big band like Louis Jordan.
Right, Louis Jordan.
We want the phone, like Saturday Night Fish Fry, horn players singing. Nobody just like singing, but just we want the phone, give up. So I was using all those kind of styles of music from bands over the era, because in the early 50s, I remember that was my mother's everything that I liked. I found out it was Louis Jordan.
Louis Jordan's a damn genius. People don't remember him.
No.
Genius.
I mean, you see movies?
Oh, you said with him? Oh, yeah, with him?
Yeah, he had movies.
Oh, yeah, I still have him. Ain't nothing here but those fishes. And
Yeah, all of that, yeah.
It's funk.
Ain't nobody here but us, chicken. Ain't nobody here at all. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Did he do
Trying to sleep, and you can't keep it going.
It's a sin, yeah.
Yeah.
Did he do
Caledonia. Yeah, the
Caledonia,
original.
what makes your big head so hard?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, now Jordan was...
Run, Joe.
Run, Joe. Oh, he's like the forgotten man. Chuck Berry took so much from him.
Yep.
Oh, man. And his guitar player.
Huh?
And his guitar player, Carl Hogan.
Oh, yeah?
A lot, he was some of the records where they have the guitar on it.
Yeah.
The songwriting, Chuck took everything from
Chuck, I didn't know that because he has some slick stuff too.
You listen to Louis Jordan records.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Well, you can bet I did too.
Yeah.
Just the style of it.
What's interesting, in talking to you is that people saw like, oh, funk is this different thing, but funk was built on all these different other styles.
Everything. Funk. To me, the Beatles is funky as hell. So we did a lot of stuff with their attitude in mind. You know what I'm saying? They could do any, some of it was the Hammersmith so-and-so, When I'm 64,
Right.
It was all kind of songs, but it's funky when you can do all kind of stuff. Funk is the ability to make anything yours. Do the best you can, and do. Jazz is funky as all hell. Because, who else play the first 2 minutes and then I'll meet you back here in 5 minutes and you go out to lunch, weather report. You funking around when you go way out there. You may not be 2-4, but you're out there funking around when you can get loose like that. And funk, the way some people do the turntables,
Right.
That's an instrument now. The minute they got an Anvil case for it, you got an instrument. And they play them. I've seen groups, 3 or 4 of them playing, and they just like a band.
Yeah.
They gonna elevate that shit to jazz. You gonna get some of them so slick and have so much of an ear, they can solo.
Yeah.
I've seen them make up solos, take a bunch of major solos, chop them up together and make another solo.
Well, let me ask you this about music now, because you know, we're doing this thing Finding the Funk. So we're talking to different people, younger musicians as well.
Where's it at? You know what the funk at?
Tell me.
In church. In church. Get Kim Burrell's band. Get all them bands out of Houston. What's his name? The one that did Stomp.
Oh, come on.
Kurt Franklin. Man, that is all of them guys. They got so. I just did a preacher in Tallahassee, and they got one called "Get In Here." Get in there. If it was a commercial record, it'd be all over. I mean, even Beyonce's stuff is that Houston gospel.
Right.
You know, that ain't. I mean, she's like the slickest thing out here, far as artists out there doing something, cause she do it to anything she put her mouth on. She do it to it, and then I watched her when they was about 14. Destiny Child, they was in a choir. Yeah. I'm doing an interview right now. I'll call you back. Okay, babe. Yeah. What was I saying?
Beyonce.
Oh, yeah. She, to me, is one of the real artists out there. You know, when you can keep coming back and get a good song and make it yours. Over. Plus, when they was Destiny Child, they remind me of Motown. They were like really sharp. I watched them rehearse. But like I said, I recorded them with a choir. They did some.
Choir, Destiny Child was a choir.
They were called. I mean, the name of the choir was like a homeless choir, and their father, Beyonce's father, Matt, had a homeless guy doing the lead in the choir, and they did "Standing on the Verge of Loving the Lord." And they never put it out, but right after that, they became the group Destiny Child, and they were so good. I mean, as a group, and when she just kept going, I mean, and I watch her. Her stuff is different than Jay-Z's, but she gets a new sound, a new record, and she make it hers. I don't know who do it, but it's got to be her taste to want to do it.
It's her taste, I think.
Yeah.
Who else do you like as a contemporary? You like D'Angelo?
Oh, D'Angelo, that's my boy. Hell yeah. And the other one that I knew was gonna be a star from the first record I heard was Rihanna. That SOS thing. Whew. I knew, and when it went up and came down, I was like late. I'm telling everybody this new thing. They said, "Oh, that's been up there already." That thing is in, and I'm like, "Oh hell no, that ain't." And it came back up again, and that's when she went through the roof, and she haven't turned around yet.
So what we were talking about dubstep. Do you like dubstep? Because it seems like it's all about dance music.
Yeah, that's what it is. Everything's that one's working pretty good. You know, Dre and them used to do that in his mixes. Yeah, the skip like a sample didn't quite, but people like it. So now you got the DJs actually cutting records like that. And again, the more radical they get on your nerves, that's what makes it work. Kids love that. You know, and pretty soon they get it all the way out there and you'll look around, they'll be talking about, we want some disco.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's right around the corner.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, they don't. It goes around in circles, you know. So like I say, we do all of it anyway,
Right.
but we're still true to the funk and the psychedelic. So it's gonna be loud. We're gonna be loud, but we're gonna be funky. And the first 2 hours for the people, but everything after that is for us.
So tell me about we want to sort of wrap up. You're touring all the time. You still are you ever gonna retire? Are you just gonna
For what? I don't know nothing else to do.
Do you still love it? Still love performing?
Oh hell yeah! Man, I can still go out there and do it if we ain't got no monitors. Now, you know how people that wants to get to be a star, you can't do that shit. fun. Yes, I can. And it's like having fun. And the more fun you have, the people love it. You get them to have fun with you. And to me, I love doing it, so ain't no thing.
Okay, what's your favorite record that you?
That should change every day.
What's the favorite record you worked on today? What's your favorite record that you produce of your record? What's your favorite right now?
Oh, right now, Knee Deep.
Why Knee Deep?
Because it's a slick production. I mean, first of all, I would have never recorded it hadn't been for Junie. Because I used to sing it when I'm fishing. Did the freak, never missing a beat, not just knee deep. She was round and round, floor she danced. And I love to get away. I had 3-4 waltz. And I said, he said, well, Archie said, why don't you record that? I said, nobody ain't gonna dance to no Junie. Well, it can be arranged, man. So he had me singing a cappella, and he came back and put the music on. He said, sing it just like you always sing it. You did freak, never miss it. And I realized it all fell right in place. And shit. And but we put Michael on there, and he solo with. And by the time we was about finished, Felipe was over in the corner. Yeah, you got a hit, bub, but it really ain't a red target on it. I said, okay, man. He said, give me 25% and $10,000. I said, damn, I'm gonna give you $5,000 and I'm gonna give you 10%. I said, and he got up there and walked through it. And it's, could this be me? I mean, it was just like, he just melted into the song. 15 minutes and the last 3 minutes is him.
That's fine. I have so many other questions, but I think this is enough for what I need. Can I get a shot of you and feel with your hat on? Can we just get a nice portrait of him? You want him to stand up? Cause I want you to see I want to get the whole. Yeah. Yeah, George, you got a little your zipper back. Your zipper.
Yeah. Get out.
Let's actually pull this out.
Okay.
You get that on film, did you?
Nah. We need to get the full thing here. Are you not gonna see the shoes?
I'd have to do it too.
Oh, sorry.
Well, at least I want to get a really nice shot of him with the tie and the hat. And
I taped it on your tie, so just a second.
I love all the shots they have allure with all these guys.
Thank you.
Get this while we're doing this real quick.
Oh. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna do 2. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Need more light?
Yes, a little bit. Okay, cool. 1, 2, 3. Cool.
Thank you, sir. Now I want to get this beautiful. He's gonna take a real beautiful portrait shot of you. I need to have the full. We need the full effect. We can't leave here with just the head, shoulders.
Hey,
I gotta get the pants. I got all of that. It needs to be in. When are they gonna have your mothership back together in Smithsonian?
15.
2015. Okay. I hear it's in 20 crates or something.
Is it that many?
They said it's huge.
It is big. It's not big as this room.
Wow. I was at I saw you do it many times, but I never forget. I saw it at the garden.
Oh, that was the one.
That was crazy. But then also when you guys did the Apollo.
Yep.
Yeah. Can you move that back?
And I don't think I've ever seen a band that had so many damn musicians on stage. You guys are like the Black Grateful Dead. I mean, it was just guys showing up and I never forget seeing one song they were playing, and then the bass player, another bass player came out. They started playing the bass line. Another guy leaves. The drummers changed in the middle of the song.
Oh yeah, we did that a lot.
This looks so weird.
You just pick it up inside.
So the blue, how does that work?
This is a electronic cigarette.
So it just you put on, the light comes on and puts.
Yeah, that's what it. Digital though. You have to charge it
Wow.
with your computer.
You tried it with a
can refill
computer.
it though, right?
Get the fuck out of here.
Huh?
You
That's
can you
crazy.
refill it?
Yeah, you just put a dot on it.
Oh, you can. Okay.
But you do that for days.
Laura, pull back. Pull that back too.
That's that shit I don't like. That shit I don't like. That shit I don't like. Okay, go. Okay. That shit. That shit. Well, that'd be cool. What am I doing?
So George, is that your favorite record out right now?
That's my favorite record right now. Let me open this one.
Yeah, it's nasty. You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
George, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, man.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was.
And that was the tip of the iceberg of my questions. But that was
Which one, the bass